time ever. We used to get married early, look forward to getting married and starting a family, having babies. But now we have schools, we have the media, we have everybody trashing traditional marriage. Sex has become a national sport. It's inevitable that people start behaving like animals when sex is nothing but a game. When we're teaching kids in elementary school how to have sex and that it's okay to have sex with whoever you want. Overall, our increasing rejection of the traditional family structure is putting a financial strain on those that are raising kids, especially to single mothers. If you're a child and you don't live with two parents, you're far more likely to live in poverty. The National Center for Children in Poverty say that 45% of all U.S. children belong to low-income families. 45%. According to the Census Bureau, 65% of all children in America are living in a home that receives some form of aid from the federal government. 65%. According to a recent report by UNICEF, almost one-third of all children in this country live in households with annual income below 60% of the national median income. And when it comes to poverty, child poverty, the United States ranks 36th out of the 41 wealthy nations that UNICEF looked at. 36th, right near the bottom. An astounding 45% of all African American children live in areas of concentrated poverty. And 40.9% of all children are living with only one children and living in poverty. It's hard to believe right now, but 49 million Americans are dealing with food insecurity. And according to a recent report by the National Center on Family Homelessness, the homeless children in the United States has reached a new all-time high of 2.5 million. As you can see, our rejection of the traditional family structure is hurting kids the worst. Who is trying to destroy the family structure? One is the LGBT community. They're attacking the family. They're attacking anybody that's pro-traditional family. They want these kids out on the streets so they can recruit them, so they can get the kids into their organizations, either for sex themselves or to bring them into their families and train them into their twisted ways. Reverend Franklin Graham, the son of world-renowned Billy Graham, said that America is increasingly embracing a culture of death that echoes what has occurred in Europe, from which stems a sinful, godless worldview that rejects Christ. A further problem in America, he added, is that Christianity is constantly under siege from the halls of government and education, which seek to suppress any public expressions of faith. What chance do we have in the eyes of God if we force God out of our lives? It's sad. It's heartbreaking to see that many people having such hard times in a country that just a few years ago was so great. But now a new report came out that said after 12 years of institutional learning, most college freshmen can't even read past the 7th grade. The 7th grade, our high school students, the ones that do graduate with a 7th grade education. How are they going to perform in college? How are they going to perform in life? They're getting all the way through school with no more education than a traditional dropout. elementary school dropout. I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize that. That is horrendous. It's shameful. Folks, stay with us. We got a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Tom O'Halloran, holding the line against tyranny from Washington, D.C.
I am America. One voice, united we stand. I am America. One hope to heal our land. There is still work that must be done. I will not rest until we've won. I am America.
Welcome back. This is the Tuesday night edition of the Patriot-Radio Show, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Up next, we've got 6 things Obama didn't tell you about his free college plan. He came out this last week and announced that he wanted to have 2 years of college after high school be free. Free? I mean, seriously? Free? But yeah, these dummies, the dummies on the left, the ones that voted for Obama continually because they want their free lunch, they're all over this. But there's some things he hasn't declared, he hasn't told anybody. First off, it isn't really free. It's not free to the students, and it definitely isn't free to the taxpayers. First off, it only covers 3/4 of the average cost of community college. States themselves are going to be on the hook for the other 25%. The states that are already struggling just to get by. But even then, the program will only take in the average cost of tuition. Many students go to schools with higher tuitions, so the state will be on the hook for even more money. Secondly, nothing is ever free to the taxpayers. On Air Force One, Deputy Press Secretary Eric Schultz confirmed that the program will cost at least $60 billion over 10 years. So again, he's taking from the hardworking people that are working and providing for their families themselves and paying taxes. He's taking more from the hardworking people to give to them that don't work. Let these college students go out and get jobs to support their college tuition. That's what I did. That's what many families have done for many, many decades. Secondly, it will drown the community colleges in red tape. There are no free rides in America, as Obama stated, and he's right. Colleges would do their part by offering high-quality academics and helping students actually graduate, Obama said. But all that accountability may sound great in a political speech, but in real life it translates to tons of paperwork and red tape for people at schools. If you love the federalization of the elementary school system, you're going to really love the millions of hours of paperwork that come with this. If states sign on to this program, it is going to take the state control of the community colleges to the federal level, much like the Department of Education took over the state control of their elementary schools. Too many high school students aren't prepared for college. We talked about this in the last segment. 68% of community college students have had to take at least one remedial course. But those that did take them had to take an average of 2.9 remedial courses. All Obama's plan would do is to create a nationally funded 6-year high schools. Additionally, community colleges traditionally have a poor track record. If they had a strong track record of making students prepared or financially strained students, helping them through the graduation process and into 4-year institutions, then maybe the plan would make some sense. But the colleges haven't been doing that. Number 5, free tuition would drive up costs. No government spending has ever existed in a vacuum. If the government subsidizes the price of this service, then the price of that service will go up. It always has and it always will. It doesn't matter if it's cash for clunkers, subsidizing insulation on homes. It doesn't matter what it is. If the government pays for it, the cost goes up. This is exactly what happened to the price of the four-year college tuition since the federal government started ramping up their grant and loan guarantee spending. And lastly, government spending crowds out private sector solutions. Not only will government subsidized tuition at community colleges drive up the price of those colleges, but it will also crowd out private sector solutions. Every time since the beginning of history, every time the government has stuck their finger in the pool and tried to influence one sector of the economy or another, they have screwed it up. They have screwed it up in ways that they hadn't even thought of, let alone screwed up trying to do what they were trying to do. Up next, Obama's illegal amnesty is being challenged in court this week in 2 days. On Thursday, 24 states, it's Texas plus 23, are going to be taking their court case to a federal court in Texas, trying to stop the immigration non-enforcement. It isn't an executive order like Obama threatened to do, but what he did was he had his Department of Homeland Security issue an order to his department not to expedite, not to deport people, not to even look at deporting people, trying to make, and then getting green cards and work permits for 4 to 5 million people in this next year, plus another 5 million people a year for 7 years. Texas and 23 other states announcing that the immigration orders are holding up the cost of providing unemployment insurance, education, health care, driver's licenses, and other programs to illegals. They're holding this evidence up as proof that the directives will cause irreparable damage to the states if they're allowed to take effect. In addition, Wisconsin is also claiming that illegals residing in Wisconsin will be able to get concealed carry permits as a result of Obama's unilateral action. We're going to give driver's licenses, unemployment insurance, and concealed weapons permits to illegal aliens that haven't been vetted because they have no papers. If they're criminals, they just make up a new name. Boom, clean record. Here's your gun. Why not issue them free guns, too? Good Lord. Driver's licenses alone will cost states millions. Using the Texas population of 1.6 million illegal immigrants as an example, the brief claims that the state would face a net loss of $174 per license if a third of its illegal immigrant population sought IDs. If just 2% applied, it would still cost taxpayers close to $131 per license. In just the last 2 years, Texas says that it spent $1.3 billion on administering medical care to illegal immigrants and $300 million in emergency Medicaid money. Don't think that these illegals are here and it's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting them, but it is very, very much hurting the people that work, the people that are providing all these free services. Also, listen